Hey y'all, hope you're having a nice start to your week. I can't even believe it's Monday. It's been one of those years, right? So I was just kind of reflecting tonight. I was watching some of the Midnight Gospel before I started recording while I was eating dinner. And I was just kind of reflecting and thinking like I feel like there's some a lot of work that we make with the idea or the impression that it's going to be consumed, that it's for somebody or for an audience. And I think that's a really interesting like concept because like I don't know, there's also some art that is for personal development or growth, and that's kind of what this is. But also in a weird way, it's for consumption, but that's not the intention. And it's kind of interesting, like that juxtaposition, or how we create art. And anyways, I don't know. That's kind of just been floating around my head. And I was kind of thinking too about how this series feels like that song by Tenacious D that is, I think it's just called Tribute, right? But it's like the tribute to the greatest song in the world, which they had played, but simply didn't record because they were out in the wilderness fighting a demon, right? And all this sort of things. So I just think that's kind of funny. And I was kind of reflecting on that because that's what this is. This is a tribute to Unis Annus. You've got to believe me, it was an incredible web series that Markiplier and Crank Gameplays just, they did the thing, and it's awesome. And I think that's like, I don't know, that's all I want for this to be, is for something to live through that, and also for my own personal development, because I feel like I need a lot of work as a performer and potential video producer, whatever I'm doing. So anyways, that is kind of just where my head space is at. So I'm sorry if I'm a little rambly, a little distracted. But I just thought I'd throw that out there. So, on to the main part of the video. The tribute to today's video of a year ago that was released by Mark and Ethan. And the title of the video was Ethan Destroys Mark's Van with a Bat. And I write little notes and things in my notebook. And so what I wrote in this one, this is my sense of humor. But what I wrote was, not the only thing that got destroyed this year with the bat. Ayo! So that's my sense of humor. Sorry about it. Anyways, that's kind of how it feels. So anyways, that's all I have to say, really. I don't have a lot to say about it because it was like a really incredible. I don't have a lot to say about the actual video because it was just like a really like tragically beautiful video. It was very well done and like beautifully recorded, and it's kind of a shame that that no longer exists to be even appreciated, because like they destroyed a van with a bat. I think what happened was, in one of the previous videos, they were like, we're going to reach 2 million subscribers by the end of week 2, or Ethan's going to destroy Mark's van with a bat. And I don't know if it's Mark's idea or Ethan's idea or Amy's idea or whoever, but like that was their thing. And I think there was even the first week, they were like, if we don't get to 1 million subscribers within 1 week, then Mark will get his nipples pierced or something like just crazy. And they didn't keep on going with that gambit because the million subscribers thing was just not sustainable. And so anyways, they did the thing. They destroyed the van with the bat, and it was still, you probably still could have turned the key in the ignition, it would have worked. It was mostly just like shattered windows and Ethan wailing on like the hood or on the sides or whatever, the doors. But yeah, man, it was something. In like the music, like it was just like, it was like a little emotional. Like I don't even, so I think the van was named The Barrel, and like I don't know, I haven't really watched Mark's videos about the barrel or anything, but apparently like it was a really big deal, and like he had gotten this van for whatever reason. I don't know if it was to tour or for something else, and like there's just like apparently all these like really fond memories people have of the barrel. That I don't. So hey, if you know more about the barrel, please link me to the videos about it, or her. I don't know if they ever gendered their car, but like, anyways. So it was just like a really incredible video. So I feel like I've been doing this interesting thing of accidentally being the antithesis to Unis Annus, where I'm kind of doing backwards, or oppositional videos like the Not So Chubby Gummy Challenge or the Play-Doh Thanksgiving. So today I'm going to, I guess, keep with that accidental theme, and instead of breaking something, I'm going to try to fix something. And I'm just going to do it today. I may not film all of the doing the thing because, like, y'all, it's only so much fun to watch somebody try to fix something. But I'm going to talk while I'm doing it as well. So, the things I'm looking at to fix today, I was kind of hoping to fix a few things, but I realized I do not have as much super glue as I thought I did, and I don't think it'll be as effective as I was hoping. I have like one of these little tiny baby boys, and that is not enough super glue to do all the things that I'm looking at. I do have my low temp hot glue gun going though, because I definitely am. So I was gonna put this away. I wore this for Halloween, and I've had this for years, even though it's kind of like a cheap prop at this point. Oh, that's like really dusty. That shouldn't be that dusty. It's been out for over a month, y'all. Okay, anyways, I wore this for Halloween, and it is another nod to a piece of artwork I really love. It is a Cockney Hitcher style hat, and it's got all the little, I think they're called solos in Britain. They're lifesavers here. But anyways, I was going to put it away, and then one of them fell off. And I was like, no, I can't put it away if it's broken. So, like, I wanted to fix it so that it would be ready to pull out next Halloween or whenever. I also have with me these shoes. I got these, I think, in Columbia, Missouri, back when I was in college. I went to like a Plato's Closet with maybe a gal pal or two, and we were just kind of shopping, and I saw these. I remember seeing a pair of these very pretty, like gray, and I think there was like a full wedge heel, but similar shape, and I ended up picking these because I felt like they looked a little more professional, and like I could wear them to a job interview and not just to parties. I don't wear these as much as I'd like to. I think these are incredible. I think they're really a lovely shoe. They're kind of like Oxfords with a little heel. But see, what happened was I did wear them out to New Year's party, the 2020 New Year's party, and this happened to one of them. So this is what I was hoping to set out to do, but I had used a one of these little super glues, and it obviously didn't work. So anyways, so I'm gonna try the low temp glue gun. I try to avoid that because I think I've used it for some other small shoe fixes I've had, but just because it is the entirety of that sole that has come up, and also like, I don't know, I just feel like shoes need something a little sturdier. So this I don't mind using the low temp glue gun. So I'm definitely gonna do that just real quick. That's gonna be easy. But anyways, I'm gonna kind of chat about these sort of things. I also have with me, I also have like this here. I need to fix that. That's my Scarlet Thunder, Sangmina's weapon in Soul Calibur. I made that in college actually using the theater wood shop, and the top of it like fell off immediately. And I think the problem was I took this and I think about it like, oh, if I could do it again, this is a lot clunkier than I think it should be. I would probably change the dimensions of everything. I would get entirely new parts and everything. But anyways, I think I drilled the hole in it a little too large. And so then when I tried screwing it on, because all of these pieces have little threaded sort of screw type dealies going. And I think when I screwed it, I drilled too much, too wide, so the threads don't really catch onto much wood. And then I tried wood gluing it, and that wasn't working, so I was going to try super gluing it, but I don't know, I probably won't get to that tonight. So I'm just going to definitely focus on accessorizing my Cockney Hitcher hats. I've always wanted to get like a nicer one of these. Like this is like the little, like you buy these at Party City for $2, like plastic. I've wanted to get like a legit top hat, either glue just straight up lifesavers on them like I did with this, or potentially even like, coat them in something that makes them like not potentially disintegrate or anything. Like these actually, so half of these have been glued on for years. I made this back in college, I think in like 2013 or 2014. 2014 sounds right. 2014 sounds correct. And I did like just kind of every other one because I was a broke college kid, and I'm like, I can buy like a small pack or like, 10 or whatever instead of like however many, like 23 or whatever's on here. And like, you can't really see it with my camera, but if you look closely, like every other one is slightly off color, or it's kind of disintegrated a little bit. But honestly, it still looks, I think it's still very effective as a costume piece. So I'm going to try to fix that because it's nice to just have. And then you have it. So anyways, I have my low temp glue gun over here. I'm going to grab another napkin because it does look to be dribbling a bit. But yeah, I've just been thinking a lot about these sorts of ideas, and I think a lot about, so one thing I've definitely been thinking a lot about is, I think that some people, and I don't know that this is true for everybody, but I think that there are some people like me that hold on to things that are broken or imperfect. And I saw this thing that was floating around Facebook or something, and it kind of like, it really connected and resonated with me. But I think that there are people that hold on to things that are broken because they might be a trauma survivor, or they might think that they themselves are broken, and they kind of see themselves in this object, in this idea of like, just because something's broken doesn't mean it's useless, or that it can't be fixed. And I think about that a lot because, like, I mean, like, we've all had our weird experiences throughout our lives, right? But like, I think about that a lot because there are a lot of things that are broken or imperfect, and I wouldn't call myself a hoarder, but definitely, especially like with projects, like with things I have made or I have specifically, like, I can still see some use in them. Like with these shoes, like if this is back together, I'll definitely wear these again. Like, I love these shoes. So, I think about that, that just because something is broken doesn't mean it can't be fixed, and that sometimes we see reflections of that in ourselves. And then the other thing I was kind of thinking about was, with these shoes comes a really fun New Year's party story, I think. So sorry, I'm kind of talking over here. I don't know if the rest of this video is going to be garbage, and I'm sorry about it if it is. So I'm just going to try to get this hat for sure, because this has just been like sitting in my room, and like it does have a place to go. I have a whole tub of like costumes, and sorry, my hand is shaking. Like, what's that about? I need to get some potassium, y'all. Anyways, so yeah, this has a place to go. This has a place to put away, and it's just been sitting on my bedroom, like, dresser, or like on the floor, or on my bookshelf. Like, it's just kind of been floating around, and it needs to go back home. So we're gonna try to do that tonight for sure. But these shoes, I was also reflecting upon a really nice New Year's party I had. And I kind of, I think the McElroy brothers are known for their yearly sayings and slogans about the year. What was like 20 swerpentine or 20 serpentine, keep them guessing, like things like that. And I think that for me, whenever for 2020, I was kind of, for whatever reason, I was kind of like in this whole mood with my life, and I was like just saying like reckless and feckless was my slogan, and that very quickly changed once the COVID was starting to be a very real thing. It's like, oh no, we are going to be careful about some things. Be careful about what matters, I think, is the lesson I've learned from this year. Be careful about what matters. But I liked the slogan reckless and feckless, because what it means is like, what does it matter? Like, for some things. So with these shoes, like, I mean, I broke these shoes, and like, I gave no fucks. Like, I just, and I went to this party that was like totally new place. I never met, like, I only knew like a friend of a friend that invited me. And it was a wonderful, awesome group of people. Like, I had a great time. I actually made some new friends. And like, I went to this party, like in this place of town, like I'm not too familiar with, and all these sorts of things. And like, yeah, I like broke my shoes, and like I did like a lot of like weird, goofy, impulsive stuff that night. And like, it was a lot of fun and nobody like got hurt, you know what I mean? Like, so, I guess that was kind of like my thing is like, I was just like, you know, I'm just going to do what I want. And I thought that was, I don't know, I try to keep that energy, you know, everything in moderation, right? So anyways, that night was a lot of fun though. I went there. We were like planning on like, a couple of us were kind of hungry, like, oh, we should order some pizza. And we tried like ordering some Domino's at like, it was like 9 or 10 p.m. Guess what? We never got that pizza. There was somebody there who, like, everybody introduced themselves with their pronouns, which was really cool. And this was a lot of fun. And this was very nice for me because like, I am the kind of person where like, I have no problem going with whatever pronouns people like see me. I've generally perceived as female, which is fine. But like I've like for a very long time, like I've always kind of thought of myself as like sort of like tomboyish or an androgynous female or whatever. And like it was really nice to kind of tell people like, you know, you can say she, her, whatever works for you. I really don't care. Like I really don't care. Like, and that's really my attitude and my outlook on that. And we had a lot of fun. Somebody had like a flask of like, oh no, I like space. I was going to say arsenic, and that's not correct. Oh my God. Hang on, it's going to come back to me. Absinthe. Somebody had a flask of absinthe, which if you've not had it, it's kind of licoricey. But that was like a lot of fun. I brought like, I think I brought a bottle of champagne, and I think I brought just like a 6-pack of Angry Orchard Rosé or something. I just, you know, it's just, I was just like chilling with all these people, and like some other people had alcohol, and like I got to, you know, talk with all these people. Somebody brought like their Nintendo Switch, and we like played Smash Bros. And like, I don't know, we just like all had a really pleasant time. There was, I think, like one point as well where some guy was going around and he's like, we're gonna make like a wrestling, like, what do you call it? Like kind of a tournament bracket style thing. And like, y'all are going to be wrestling. And like, he was going around like asking everybody like what their name would be and all these sorts of things. And this guy like comes around and he's like, oh, like, if you were wrestling, like, what would you, I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't have like a name. And he's like, well, where were you born? And I was like, and he was like, oh, Athena. She's like a Greek goddess. Like, you could be Athena Returns or something. And like, it was just like so goofy. And it was like really funny because like actually like I did wrestle with like somebody else that night that was like, you know, like kind of indifferent about pronouns. And like, it was just like, it was so goofy. It was so bizarre. I was like wrestling this other like potentially AFAB person like in the backyard, somebody's backyard in the middle of winter in heels, and I was like also wearing like a 2020s like sequined flapper dress. Like, y'all, it was wild. It was crazy. It was fun, and it was reckless and feckless. I even at the end of the night, I was struggling to find my car, flopping around with this bad boy. I think I even took my shoes off, which I rarely do. And somebody offered to take me a ride to my car, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm not too far from it, but I'm like, you know what? Kindness from strangers, and also don't do that at home. Do be careful. Don't get in strangers' cars, kids. But I'm a very confident person, and he was not a threat, so it was all good. But it was just like sometimes there are nice strangers out there, and sometimes there are helpful people. But he did kind of take me the long way around and like took me to my car probably longer than if I had just walked. But it was kind of nice to get out of the cold for a minute because my phone was dead, and that was not pleasant. So anyways, I'm going to try to fix these shoes, y'all. But we had a fun time. It was a nice party. And I was very happy to have met a lot of the people there and spent time with them. And now I'm finally, at the end of this year, finally going to try to fix these shoes. And I don't know if there is something wrong with the gun here. But I was thinking about it a lot, and like I just finally today, they were also like covered in mud because obviously I was wrestling somebody in somebody's backyard. So these were like covered in mud. So I washed them today. It was just like kind of a very nice thing to do. It felt pleasant. It felt correct. And so now we press and we hold and we pray. I kind of am thinking about putting this shoe on and just standing on it. this shouldn't take too long to like adhere. So anyways, Mark's van may have gotten destroyed by a bat by Ethan. But that doesn't mean we can't go back and fix things. And I think that they had also, I do want to say this too, I think also like at the end of the series, Mark did say he had debated like fixing up the barrel. Because like, you know, it probably still was a runnable, I just got my shoe on, that's what this is. It probably still like the car probably could have run just fine. But Mark was even considering like fixing her all up and then just like blowing the barrel up in like the desert and just being like, nothing is forever and like everything can be destroyed, like don't hold anything dear. And like I think that's like a really interesting idea, but also like damn, Mark, like I don't know, I'm kind of a person, it's like if something can be fixed, if something can be used, like the thing I guess that kind of like the only thing that really bothers me about that video, I'm sure I have a friend who actually is like a really big fan of cars, and I'm sure she would really have hated that it even happened at all. But I think the thing that kind of bothers me is there are people that probably could have really used a van like that, and like, what do you do, you know? Like, what for content and what for like usefulness, like utilitarianism. I guess I'm a little bit of a utilitarianist because like I think also like my friend who would have been upset to see the barrel get destroyed, she told me about this other TV show where they would take cars and they would like kind of set out for like a goal or a hypothesis, like we're gonna soup this car up and it's gonna like go to 60 miles per hour within half a second or some stupid, like whatever, I don't know, man, like just they would soup up these cars. And I don't know what the name of the show was, but if they didn't reach that goal, then they would just destroy the car. And it's like, you know, the car, like, you know, they still souped it up and like maybe it, you know, went how quickly it needed to, but it just took more time or whatever, you know, like, and so like, it's just interesting, like kind of how content is created. So that's kind of what's been mulling around in my head. I'm sorry, this is one of my longer videos, but if you're still here, thank you for watching. And I hope I have something more interesting tomorrow.